Okay, so this is the trading post where we have this very weird guy right here. But this weird guy is not why we're in here. We're in here because of the Scarecrow. I think I mentioned the Scarecrow briefly during the first 10 or so videos. But you can actually dance with the Scarecrow to make time move forward. And he can also teach you the inverse Song of Time and the double Song of Time. Or, well, the Song of Double Time, I'm sorry. But if you actually play the ocarina for him, you can actually teach him a special song that you make up yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So I'm just going to put A, down, down, right, right, up, up. That should be pretty easy to remember. You could technically even do like the same note like 8 times. But yeah, teach him that song. And if you actually play that song, as I'll show in a second. Let me get out of the trading post first. I mean, I guess I could do it in the trading post, but whatever. So if I play the song that I just taught the Scarecrow, we can actually play a song now called the Scarecrow Song. And you can actually use that song to summon Scarecrows at specific places during the game. And you actually use this to get 2 heart pieces in the game. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. However, to get one of the heart pieces, I actually need an item that we actually haven't used for a very, very long time. So, I'm going to go ahead and head to the southern swamp. This is probably the fastest way to get these items. Well, yeah, it is definitely the fastest, because there is literally, like, no other place you can do this, besides where we originally got the item. That would take too long to get. But go to the Swamp Tourist building, and you need to become a Deku Scrub to do this. And why can I not climb up this ladder? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get my Deku Mask out. And if we... Not the Great Fairy Mask, the Deku Mask. If we talk to this business scrub over here, he can actually sell us magic beans for 10 rupees. So yeah, this is like the only... Well, no, not the only other one, because you do need magic beans for something else later on. But this is like, I guess, the earliest possible time you'll need them again. So yeah, buy a magic bean, and now we're actually going to soar to the Great Bay area, because we can actually get the heart piece there. You do need the magic bean for that, so let us go to the Great Bay coast. Okay guys, I probably cut out some footage right here. I'm actually at Snowhead, not Great Bay Coast. I actually had a bit of a brain fart that actually led me to going to quite a few places around the map. I'll explain why in a little bit. Right here, as I mentioned earlier, there are some platforms over here that'll get you to over here, and there's also a heart piece in the distance. How do we get that heart piece? Well, we can't hookshot it, but if we get our ocarina out and play the Scarecrow song, a Scarecrow will form right there. So you can actually hookshot onto the Scarecrow and then get the heart piece with no problem. And that is generally how you'll get these heart pieces, by finding the Scarecrow and then using the hookshot. So I could technically at least, attempt to get that heart piece earlier, but you do need the hookshot, so that's why I didn't do it. So anyways, the massive brain fart I had earlier. Obviously, as you probably figured out, I forgot to get spring water. However, that was intentional, because on the second day of the cycle, or of each cycle, it's normally supposed to rain, and whenever it rains, like, that takes the place of the spring water on day 2, so I figured that I just, use the rain instead of the spring water to plant the bean where I needed to plant it. But the rain never actually came, so had to go on a very long quest to find spring water. And eventually, as you probably saw just like a few minutes ago, I ended up getting hot spring water from the mountains, and then just let it melt into, or not melt, but let it cool into just normal spring water. So I'll use that in a little bit. I'm not really sure why it doesn't rain at Great Bay during the second day. I think it has to do with the area itself. I think it's just programmed to not rain on the second day. Anyways, not much I can really do about it right now, so I'm going to go ahead and do the second ranch big side quest here. On night of the second day at 6 p.m. Again, make sure you talk to Cremia during the morning of the second day before you do this. And of course, make sure you save the ranch from the aliens the night before, because if you forget to do any of those things, this will not happen. So we're going to go on a little ride-along with Cremia so she can take the milk to town. I mean, it should be a pretty simple trek, don't you think? I mean, there's not really that many enemies around, just that stupid thieving bird, so it should just be a nice, cool little stroll. Well, not so much a stroll since we're not walking, but a nice little ride-along. So here you find out a little bit about Cremia's backstory and the whole ranch backstory, which is, you know, kind of nice, but there's not really that much to say about it. And Cremia also talks about her connections with Anju, the innkeeper. There's actually a fairly interesting piece of backstory between Cremia, Anju, and Cafe, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'll talk about that maybe a little later, when I'm actually doing the quest for the second time. Anyways, we get to Milk Road just to find out that the gate is actually blocked. So it looks like we'll have to go on a little detour to actually get to town. And we'll have to go through the Gorman Ranch to actually get there. And if you don't remember, the Gormans are kind of weird people. They don't seem to be like the most welcoming bunch. So we're going to have to keep our guard up while we're going through here. So Cremia is going to tell us to ready our bow, because the Gorman owners are going to try to destroy the milk bottles. Okay, so they're going to chase us on their horses, and what you have to do is you have to hit them with arrows whenever they charge at the milk. Really not that hard to do. You can continually shoot them if you want, but they're not going to fall back unless they're charging, so technically you can just wait until they charge and then fire at them. Really not that hard to do. The tricky thing about this minigame is, well, one, the controls of the bow and arrow, they're kind of, like, they're not bad, but they are kind of iffy at times, especially when you're aiming, because, you know, as you can see, the arrow kind of curves to the left a little bit whenever you shoot, so, or is it the left or is it the right? I don't know for sure. But yeah, just, like, don't expect the aiming to be perfect. Basically, though, just don't, like, freak out while you're doing this. Just stay calm, and you should be fine. And if they destroy one of the bottles, you should still be okay. But if they destroy all the bottles, you fail the minigame, so you honestly do not want to fail, because if you fail, you have to do the whole alien side quest again, and it's just really tedious, so do not fail that minigame by any means. So there we go, we helped her out, and as a reward, we get the cow mask, or rather the Romani's mask. For this mask, it's just a visual mask, but if you wear it, you can actually get inside the milk bar on the first and second day during the night. So it is actually an important mask, and you actually need to use it in order to get another mask. So, I'll be doing that a little later. Right now, I'm gonna look through the Bomber's Notebook just to get an idea of what we've accomplished. As you can see, Cremia is done, and also the Gorman brothers are also done because they're technically involved in that minigame as well. You just have to win the minigame, and you completed their entry too. So now I'm gonna sword a Great Bay so I can get that last heart piece, the one that involves the magic bean. I still feel kind of stupid about wasting so much time trying to figure out where to go for spring water, but whatever, what's done is done.